Good morning, everybody. I was asked to prepare a kind of evaluation of the hitherto prepared materials and some ideas of this arLED project from the point of view of its coherence with planning systems in other European countries which are not partners of this project. The official title of my presentation is Comparison of Spatial Planning Systems in the EU countries in the context of airport catchment areas, in other words, in airport cities development. In the beginning, I'd like to make a short overview of the administrative and planning systems in the European countries. In the prevailing, most of the European countries have a 3 or 4 level administrative structure. The first level is a country, which is sometimes it's unitary, sometimes it's federal. The second level is region. The regions have different autonomy, larger or smaller. And the third level, which exists only in a few of European countries, is a province or county. And the last, and but not least, the basic administrative level is commune or municipality. On the national level, sometimes there exists a comprehensive national physical development plan. Sometimes it does not exist. If there is no comprehensive physical national development plan, the national authorities issue some guidelines, or they prepare sectoral plans. But in other countries, the planning system starts from the national level. The second level is regional plan. The regional plan is obligatory or optional in different countries. There is a need to prepare such a plan in other countries. It depends on the option of the regional authorities. The third level, which exists only incidentally, as I told in the before, has no spatial development plan. I didn't find, making this overview, I didn't find any, even one example when this third level, the province or country level, has a physical development plan. And the last level, the commune, usually it has 2 kinds of plans. First is the master plan, which is covering entire commune area, and afterwards some detailed plans which are touching some specific areas or some specific situations. This master plan has diversified force. Sometimes it's local law, but in other situations, in other countries, the master plan is not more but directional study, not a local law. Oh, sorry. How it looks in some countries. For example, in France, there is no national development plan. The national government issues only some development guidelines, or is preparing sectoral programs. The regional development plan is optional, and only a few of regions in France decided to prepare such a document. So in most of cases, the regional plan in France does not exist. Afterwards, the master plan of community or municipality, in France it's only I call it a directional plan, or it's rather directional study, not a directional plan. And the fourth, it's detailed plans which cover the areas, specific areas. In Finland, the situation is a little different. On the national level, there is no comprehensive plan, but on the regional level, the situation is specific in Finland because the regional plan exists as long as it is substituted by local master plan. This is a very specific situation, and of course the detailed plans of the specific areas are prepared. In Holland, opposite as the previous examples, there is a national comprehensive national physical development plan, but the regional plans are optional. And what is specific for Holland, that the regional plans can be in different scales. So some areas which are, let me call it functional zones, may have more detailed plans in regional scale as more detailed than the other areas. Master plans for communities are optional only, and detailed plans, for example, in Holland are obligatory for non-residential areas. For the residential areas, they don't have to prepare the detailed plans. In Ireland, no national planning and no regional physical planning exists, but the communes have to have a master plan, and afterwards, if the area is to be subject to development, they are preparing the so-called action area plan. So it means that the areas where some new developments are are under preparation. So first, there has to be prepared the action area plan. Portugal has a very developed planning system. All the levels of planning exist. And in Poland, we have three levels of planning: national physical development plan, regional physical development plan, afterwards the master plan of community, which is a rather directional study, not a master plan, and then the local plans or detailed plans. To answer the question I was asked is if the methodology of arLED is to be implemented to the planning systems of European countries which are not partners of this project. First, I'd like to answer some. I'd like to tell some elements about some elements which, from my point of view, are very important to answer the question. First is that the airport city has strong influence, but not covering all the region and exceeding the commune area. So it means that in existing planning systems, we cannot say that there is a specific kind of plan which will be maybe prepared for the airport city. The airport city, the zone of influence of the airport city is somewhere between region and community. There are no statutory administrative bodies responsible for creation and management of the airport city. Airport city is a very specific situation, and that's why there are no bodies. Region is the most benefited area of the most benefited by the airport city. The airport city is Polo Gross. It was told in the previous presentations only. So this is the major actor should be the region. But on the other hand, the communes are the most affected. Sometimes we forget about this, that the airport city is a great benefit for the region, but it's also a kind of small disaster for the community, for the commune. Airports are issuing pollutions, they cause the limitation of land use, and so on and so on. And what are the conclusions from this? First is that we cannot use any existing planning system directly to prepare the master plan of airport city. There have to be prepared some special measures of planning, implementation, and management. Second, that the driving force of the implementation of airport city should be the region, and preparing the master plan of the airport city, we have to remember also about recovery of damages for communes. What are the major findings of hitherto prepared works and documents concerning arLED? First is the methodology of planning, which has a form of common template. I will tell you about this common template in a moment, a few more words. So first is the methodology of planning. The second is or should be the airport master plan. And the third is to be a roadmap which will help to implement all the hitherto achievements of the project. The Regions Council should accept all these findings of the arLED project by approving in the form of annex to the regional plan or preparing a new regional plan. But anyway, the first step of implementation of the idea is approval of the regional council. The second level of implementation has to be also approval by communes, commune authorities, commune councils, in a form of annexes to the communes master plans, and afterwards by preparation of the action area plans or detailed plans. As I told before, the master plans do not have, rarely they have the force of a local law. Generally, there are, in most of cases, the local master plans are just studies. That's why to have a legal framework of future construction of the airport city, the action area plans or detailed plans have to be prepared. And up to now, all the project is led by regional development coordinating bodies. These regional development coordination bodies, as you know very well, are the only ad hoc bodies, but not statutory bodies. And that's why to implement the airport city idea, there is a need to establish a regions development agency if it does not exist, but if in the country this kind of agency already exists, it's the issue would be to extend this development agency and to create a specific branch for continuation of the works concerning the creation of airport city. This regional development agency should lead this, what was also told in the previous presentation, so-called one-stop shop, and also the duty of this regions development agency should be a coordination of implementation, and the construction of the airport city would be in hands of private and public investors. What is the arLED methodology which is to be recommended for the other countries, no, not project partners? We may say that there are 10 major steps to start construction of the airport city. The 6 first steps are to be approved by the RDCB, so Regional Development Coordination Bodies, which already exist in the project countries. But we have to remember that these bodies are just consultants but not statutory administrative bodies. So we have to remember about this, that the first 6 steps will be approved by RDCB. The first step is some basic development assumptions. Second is the limitation of the airport city zone. Afterwards, status quo analysis, then evaluation of the airport city areas, then preparation of the master plan, which will not be in force. It will be just a study, then a roadmap. And starting from the 7th step, it will be creation of a legal framework for development of the airport city. First is annex to the regional plan, which should be approved by Regions Council. Then the annexes to master plans and detailed plans, which should be approved by commune or city councils. And the last step is a one-stop shop, which should be a part of Regional Development Agency. As I told in the beginning, one of the major issues or one of the major findings of the arLED project is the common template. The common template, which is in a comprehensive way showing the major ideas and the methodology of works. The common template consists of 4 parts. First part should be, or there is a diagnostic part, which is focused on both external or internal conditions. The internal conditions are divided into 3 thematic pillars: logistic and transport, spatial development, environment and architecture, and the third, business and investment development. Afterwards, there should be prepared a SWOT analysis. It was also a subject to the previous presentation. Then development part, which should consist of development priorities, master plan and action area plans, and the 4th part of the common template is tools of implementation, like, for example, branding, creation of area, key projects, topics of development for ISPON research, introducing entries to the regional and local documents, and last but very important, funding sources. What are the major conclusions concerning possibility of implementation of the arLED methodology to the planning systems in the other countries? The first is that the arLED methodology is coherent to the planning system in the most of the EU countries, but as I told in the beginning, it cannot be directly implemented. It has to, there have to be undertaken some special measures. The second conclusion is that depending on the rank of the airport city master plan should be included as a part to the regional, sometimes maybe even national spatial plan, and to the commune's master plans. The third conclusion is that the right implementation of the airport city desires completion of the detailed spatial development plans. This is what I told before, and I want to repeat it. In most of the European countries, the legal framework for development, the legal framework for construction is the lowest level of planning is the detailed planning done by communes. So that's why the preparation and approval of the detailed plans is just a must. And the fourth conclusion is that the solutions worked out by the partners of the arLED project should be the case study for the other EU countries. And coming to the end with my presentations, because, coming to the end with my presentation, because this is my first and maybe the last visit here, I'd like to give you some final recommendations, which are maybe a little exceeding my duty, but these are the recommendations from the point of view of the old planner. So the recommendations are like this. First of all is to be patient. The creation of the airport city takes tens of years. Among us, there is Mr. Sławiński from Mazovian district, who started to prepare first studies concerning the Modlin airport around 25 years ago. And he's working still, and the airport city Modlin does not exist yet, but it will be in coming 5 or 10 years. So first of all, for all those who are focused on the creation of the airport cities, the first recommendation is to be patient. The second recommendation is to establish or extend regional development agency. As I told, the RDCB is just an ad hoc commission. It exists now, but it will not exist always. Yeah? And to ensure the proper implementation of all the achievements prepared during this project, there is a very important, very strong need to establish or to extend a statutory body which will continue the works until the happy end, I hope. The third recommendation is tighten cooperation with main stakeholders. In RDCB, there are the participants from regional, province, if it exists, communes, and airport authorities. But in my opinion, it would be very good if to these works would be also incorporated the representatives of entrepreneurs and NGOs. Why entrepreneurs? We the planners, we very often we think that we know better what is good and what is bad for entrepreneurs. But unfortunately, sometimes we are mistaken. And that's why that would be very good to ask, to invite entrepreneurs or representatives of entrepreneurs to join the works. And also the NGOs. all we know that NGOs cannot help a lot, but then they can damage a lot. The experience of modeling airport is like this. The construction of the airport had to be suspended for many years because of the protests of the NGOs. So my recommendation is to incorporate the representatives on the NGOs to the planning works, and maybe it will help to implement the airport city easier than in other situations. The fourth recommendation is to be flexible in planning. Future is unpredictable, and because the implementation of the airport city will take tens of years. All the circumstances and the conditions, external and internal conditions, will change many times during this period. And the answer how to solve this problem, in my opinion, the answer is the flexible planning. It's sometimes it's quite opposite to the options of for example, local authorities. But my experience is like this: that the flexible planning is better than very detailed and certain planning. And the last recommendation is be active in marketing. Of course, in different countries, in different regions, the situation is different. But for example, having in mind the Polish example, the Modlin airport, it's one of the 10 or even more regional airports in Poland. So there is a competition, and to win in this competition needs to be very active in marketing. So in short, this is my presentation. Thank you very much, and goodbye.